Buhay everyone, MARKCHES here and welcome to the channel, and we are back today to do another comparison video between the all-new KD13s and of course the PG4s. Two of my favorite Nike sneakers out right now. I just played with them, I'm perspiring right now. I wear the PG4s on my left foot while on my right is the KD13s. So let's find out the difference and which one is for you. Let's go. Before we start with the comparison video, guys, I would just like to remind you that we have an ongoing raffle. If we reach the 20,000 subscriber mark and one of these videos reach 2,000 likes, I'll be giving away a sneaker in your size just for you. So share this video, tag your friends in my Instagram account. Of course, you too subscribe in my Instagram and here of course in YouTube so we can reach a 20,000 mark and of course a sneaker just for you. A little background between these two sneakers. The KD13 just released. KD13s was recently released. It was a little bit delayed due to the quarantine, and the PG4s released earlier this year. And I have to be honest, these two sneakers are my current favorite. The PG4s, if you know, this is my Nike Bayou Nike ID. I usually do Nike Bayou sneakers on sneakers that I really like the KD12s. I have a Nike Bayou with that, and this was my next one. I also have the Gatorade colorway of the PG4s, which is a very nice colorway. It looks like a tie-dye, very 90s vibe to it. And now my new favorite, the KD13s. This is my Nike ID KD13s. I didn't get the general release one, but I have a feeling that I will really like the sneaker. It was a good decision after all, customizing my KD13s. So let's start off with the uppers of these two sneakers. In my KD13s, it has a mesh upper, while in the PG4s, it has a dual layer upper. In my Nike Bayou, it has a felt upper, a synthetic suede-like material, and underneath it is a neoprene material, while the general release ones, it has a mesh upper and same neoprene material inside. And by the way, if you want to watch a full performance review of these two sneakers, I'll be putting the link in the description down below. As for support in the forefoot area, I would say both have amazing support, especially when you move laterally. Upper really holds your foot down. It doesn't give you any delay. It doesn't stretch while you're moving. And especially my Nike Bayou PG4s with this synthetic suede upper, if you don't mind it being stiff, it is really very supportive. And going to the midfoot part of the sneaker, no complaints there too. Very supportive midfoot on the KD13s. The swoosh helps out in the support laterally, while the PG4s has this fused material on the lateral part of the midfoot, and it also helps in the durability and support of the sneaker, preventing the material to overstretch, especially around the midfoot when you're doing lateral movements or side steps, because this is the part where it has most tension. Moving on to the heel part of the sneaker, the KD13s has this wings that helps out in the lockdown, especially preventing your foot from moving around the footbed, and of course helping out in the ankle protection, pulling your heel down in the footbed, thus giving you a very nice ankle protection, heel containment, and heel lockdown. Same goes to the PG4s. Even though this is a low-cut sneaker, I still feel very secured around my ankle. Heel containment, very nice too. No heel slippage. Lockdown, very, very good. And I think one factor is it has very thick foams around the heel and ankle that really wraps around your ankle, especially when you just tie it properly. You won't feel your foot moving. Your heel is very well secured, so your ankle really feels very safe. And of course, the KD13s is a mid-cut sneaker, so it adds a little more ankle support on the KD13s. So it's just a matter of preference. If you like more support around your ankle, it's actually a more secure feel that you'll be getting on the KD13s, especially if you like hooping on high tops, mid top sneakers. But otherwise, if you like low top sneakers, PG4s is for you. No complaints in the heel part of the sneaker at all. Performance wise, in the overall upper of the sneakers, I would say they are a tie. Both have very supportive and very durable upper. The only difference that I saw in the uppers are it is easier to put your foot in on the KD13s because it has a traditional lacing system compared to the PG4s, which have dual layer upper, and the inner layer is a neoprene material, so it doesn't stretch that much. Kind of hard to put your foot in at first, but once you have broken in the sneaker, it will be a lot easier to put your foot in, and this pull tabs really helps out. Don't be worried to over pulling this because it's stitched. very well on the sides and at the back, unlike the KD13's tongue, which is more fragile. So be careful with this because it might tear. Be careful with this because it might tear up. Another difference is the KD13s doesn't have a pull tab, which I think you don't need in the KD13s, but it's just a detail that I've noticed. The cushion setup of the PG4s and the KD13s is the major difference between these two sneakers. I think this is where the make or break will happen between choosing the PG4s and the KD13s. So let's start off first with the support of the cushion, because most of the sneakers that are out right now, the cushion goes up on the lateral and medial part, giving you excess support and lockdown to the footbed. So on the KD13s, it goes up just a bit, but just enough to cradle your foot. I thought at first it won't be cradling my foot that well, but once I used them, I was completely locked down to the footbed, and I felt the cushion on the side when I'm moving laterally. I felt very secured. The PG4s also goes up, but it is not as high as the cushion of the KD13s, especially on the lateral part. The KD13's cushion goes up a bit more compared to the PG4s, but still no complaints on the PG4s, especially on the suede material. But on the mesh version of the PG4s, that's where you will feel a little bit difference from the KD13s, because when you do aggressive lateral movements on this mesh upper, sometimes your foot slides on just a bit on the upper, but nothing too drastic. Because in my case, this is actually a special case because I test two different sneakers on both feet at the same time. I'm really noticing the difference. But if you're someone who will just choose between the PG4s and the KD13s, you wouldn't mind that. You wouldn't see the difference because you'll be adjusting on how your sneaker plays. But take my opinion as a grain of salt. Take note of that in choosing between the KD13s and the PG4s. And now, of course, moving on to the cushion of both sneakers. The PG4s features a full-length air unit without a strobo board, while the KD13s also doesn't have a strobo board, but it has full-length zoom and an additional 4-foot zoom puck. It really depends on your preference. If you're more into impact protection, I would suggest going with the PG4s because the PG4s really gives you maximum impact protection from the 4-foot to the heel. You want bounciness from the 4-foot to the heel with impact protection, go with the KD13s. So the major difference is on the KD13s, when you jump and land, you will really feel the bounciness, especially around the 4-foot, and you will feel the recoil immediately. While on the PG4s, you will really feel your foot sinking on the air, thus giving you a very nice impact protection sensation. It's very plush, but it doesn't bounce as much as full-length zoom. It bounces a bit, but nothing compares to the full-length zoom. So it really depends on your preference. The other difference is the carrier phylon. On the PG4s, it is thicker around the 4-foot, while on the KD13s, it is much closer to the ground. But overall responsiveness, I would give it a tie. But if you want more court feel, go with the KD13s. Now let's move on to the traction of both sneakers. Both have very similar traction pattern. The rubber compound on both are very thick. FYI guys, I live in the Philippines, and in the Asia release, we have XDR rubber in most of the sneakers that are out here. And we are very lucky because you can really play with these two outdoors. The traction pattern are widely spaced, so it doesn't trap dust that quickly. And the traction on both is amazing. I was playing on a clean court and I was playing on a dusty court. I was gripping really hard on both. As for the squeak factor, I would give the squeak factor more on the PG4s compared to the KD13s because the PG4s squeaks louder compared to the KD13s, but it doesn't make that much difference on the bite. Both have amazing bite on the floor, no complaints. The PG4's outsole is wider by just a tad bit compared to the KD13s, and it is much flatter around the 4-foot area. So if you want a more flatter 4-foot, if you are used to having a sneaker that is very flat on the 4-foot for a more stable ride when pulling up for a jump shot, the PG4s is for you. But if you don't mind it to be a little bit concave compared to the PG4s, the KD13 shape is also amazing. A lot of you have been asking me which is narrower, the PG4s or the KD13s. I would say they're pretty much the same. I got the same size on both, US 11 on both sneakers for me. Sizing wise, regular footer, go true to your size, while wide footer, go half a size up. As for pricing, the PG4s, the general release ones, are priced at 5,800 pesos, while the Nike Bayou is additional 1,000 pesos, so it's around 6,000 800 pesos, while the KD13s is more expensive by $30 or around 1,500. So the general release KD13s are around 7,650. And if you want to customize it, you have to add additional 1,000 pesos. My final verdict between these two amazing sneakers: the general release PG4s weighs 410 grams, while the Nike Bayou with the suede upper is a lot heavier. It is 430 grams, so 20 grams difference from the mesh upper to the suede upper of the PG4s. While the KD13s with the ripstop upper, it is 430 grams too, very similar to the one with the synthetic suede PG4s. So both sneakers are on the lighter side of things, and they both play amazing and light because on how nice the fit are on both sneakers. So my conclusion for both sneakers: if you are someone who likes maximum impact protection, if you want a low-cut sneaker, and of course amazing traction, go with the PG4s. But if you want someone with a lot of bounce, especially in the forefoot, and very responsive cushioning and a bit more court feel, and you don't mind it to be a mid-cut sneaker, of course the KD13s is the way to go. I hope I helped you guys out once again with this comparison video. Thank you again for watching and taking your time. This is MARKCHES once again. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.